So right now it is a pretty controversial subject to say whether we are bearish or bullish in this market cycle right now. Me, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I believe that we are halfway through the bear market. We're going to take a look at these Bitcoin charts. We're going to take a look at the stock market charts because we know stock market has been following Bitcoin, and we're going to give ourselves a little bit more of an idea of what's going on in this market. Welcome to Everything Currency. This is a show where we talk about everything crypto and mo. I'm your host Jay, and today I done hit the mic like I usually do when I do that intro. So before we get into this video, I want you guys to know that if you want to get in contact with me or talk crypto or learning about any projects that I might be having, that I might be looking into that I don't talk about on the channel, you can reach my Telegram group from my website etcurrency.com. You can also get information about the Ohana DAO, which is a crypto project that I'm working on. Also, you can see that podcast coming soon with Everything Altcoin. You can learn about the Hula Girl NFT, more about the Ohana DAO, and also get yourself some trading courses and things like that. So first things first, let's talk about this Bitcoin chart right here. So let me erase some of the things that I had on this chart because I just recorded this video, but I wanted to do it all over for no apparent reason at all. So we're looking at Bitcoin right here on the daily chart, and I'm going to switch it over to the hourly chart so I can explain to you guys what I see right here. So when we zoom in all the way in, we have ourselves this trend line right here, this yellow trend line right here, and all I did was just extend it back and found out that, hey, it was support before it was resistance, which is that's what we want to see from our trend line. We can see it was support all the way back here in February 1st and 2nd and 3rd and stuff, and then this purple line acted as our support right there going sideways, and then it dropped below this line and all hell broke loose, and now it came back up, retested it, got bearish, retested it, bearish, retested it. Now it's retesting it again. But the difference between these other retests and this one is the fact that this blue moving average is now crossing the 34 moving average. Might be giving it a little bit more momentum right here on this hourly chart to see if we want to cross and break out of this and maybe come up here and retest this 200 moving average at 200, we'll call it 22k 300 right there is where that moving average is right there. So breaking above this line could give us a nice place to shoot to in the next couple of days. And also keep in mind, we do have the CPI data coming out tomorrow, and if that data is bullish, we could see this thing shoot to 1334 wants us to. When we go right here to the 4-hour chart, let's take a look at what we see. We can see that we're getting rejected a little bit more, so we can go to the daily chart, which actually holds more weight in my mind. Right here we see that this 13 is curving down, pushing this price down. Right here we can see that the 34 moving average is this green line right here. We broke below it, came up, retested it, came up, retested it, didn't even get back up to it this time. This trend line actually kicked in, and now that's holding us down right here on the daily chart right there. So that could show, hey, maybe we have some bearishness coming up for the next couple of days in that regard. We're watching this very closely because when we go to this weekly chart right here, we can see that overall we have this long-term trend line right here that the price has been getting rejected by. It broke above it, and just like I said a bunch of times, we always want to retest it. So this price could come down here, retest the trend line, which is right there at the 34 moving average as well, and then this 13 and this 34 wants to cross. So once this thing crosses, it might gives us the momentum that we need to go ahead and test that bullish line of that 200 moving average again. And then when we break above that 200 moving average, we come down, retest it, and then go back up like we've seen in previous altcoin markets where the price came up from the 200, went back down, and then went up on its major run right there. The same thing could be playing out. I'm gonna keep this video in the archives to see if that's the scenario that we have going on. But in my opinion, erase all of that. We're below the 200 moving average, so we're bearish, but we've been under there for a while. Price can't stay there forever. Halving's going to be coming up soon. Time to go ahead and start collecting ourselves some cryptocurrency. And what's great about it is you can just collect slowly, get your portfolio in order. Now, the worst thing, I've been through 2 markets already. The worst feeling in the bull market is being like, yo, my coin did 100x, my coin did a 10x, and being like, I wish I would have bought more. So right now is the time to go ahead and start collecting those coins, doing a bunch of research. We were doing research for the last couple of months. Now it's time to start adding to those bags and accumulating over time, so that when this price does get above this 200 moving average and it starts moving real quick, like we can see it does all the time, and in bear markets a lot longer, you want to make sure that when you're able to sell right here, you're happy with it. Because if you get up here, you start holding, you take those L's right there. Also, let's look at some other charts to see if some of these things might come into fruition. We got this DXY right here. Look at the DXY on the monthly chart. It got below this 13 moving average, came up and retested it, looking like it wants to get rejected. When we zoom in on the weekly though, we can see it's trying to curve up and get above this crucial line right here. If that starts pumping, that could be bad for all of our assets, and that could send Bitcoin lower. So as Bitcoin is headed, you know, on its retest to see if it could bounce, we got the DXY headed on its retest. So it's make or break for both of these. If this breaks lower, Bitcoin will probably break lower. But you know, that 1334 on Bitcoin right here is curving up. So when we look at what Bitcoin's been following, which is the stock market, we can see, look at the S&P 500 is actually above its 200 moving average at 1334 cross. It came above this trend line and then continued to the upside. It bounced on this support right here, this orange line, retested it, and now it looks like it wants to continue higher above these moving averages that I like to watch. So very interesting to see that this might lead Bitcoin to continue up, depending on what happens with the data tomorrow. If the data comes out really bad, people will have a panic and it will be a dump, and this will be a bull trap. But if the data is good, this thing could just go ahead and continue higher. Now let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index. Also came up, clearly retested the line, and wants to continue higher along this trend line right here, which is pretty parabolic. So that would be nice to see if the price does something like that. That could spell out some big things for Bitcoin. So overall, Bitcoin could shoot pretty quick if these moving averages right here cross. And now my Bitcoin chart got a bunch of crap all over it that I'll just go back and erase later. But yeah, it's all good. So when the DXY was dumping, a lot of people were a little bit confused because they were saying, hey, DXY is dumping, why is Bitcoin dumping? Well, some of the other currencies were jumping against Bitcoin, and that's something that we talked about on this channel. And some of those currencies are looking like they had a double top on this weekly chart right here. So we'll see how that plays out. Overall, I do see that there is head and shoulders on this Bitcoin daily chart. So we could come back down and test some lower levels in the short term. But hey, depending on this data tomorrow, we can see how this plays out. Overall, it is the perfect time to just go ahead and DCA. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box of anything you would like me to take a look at. Also, don't forget to check out my website, everythingcurrencycrypto.com. You can hit me up on my email at admin@everythingcurrencycrypto.com if you have any questions or anything like that. Think positive and positive things will happen. RIP to crypto roots. Remember, never finish a negative statement about currency. Till next time, peace.